Happy Hispanic Heritage Month, everybody. This is the Slider Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Mystic Force episode Rock Solid. So, Mystic Force is one of my favorite seasons. I just love sorcery, wizards, witches, magic wands, all that kind of stuff. And so when they had this like Harry Potter-esque type like Power Rangers season, oh, I was thrilled. It's a really fun and adventurous show with a really good mystery behind it. But this episode, see, here's the thing. This episode is a Maddie solo episode. Kinda. See, in Mystic Force, one thing all Power Ranger fans can agree on, even the actor himself, is that it focused way too much on Nick. The entirety of the season was about the mystery surrounding Nick and his family. And well, as a result of that, many Rangers really didn't get that much focus episodes. Yes, they still got a focus episode, but the women got shafted. See, while the men got solo episodes, but it was kind of hard to sometimes pinpoint an actual solo episode with them because they share it with other people, but for the most part, it's surrounding them. The females, however, whenever they got a solo episodes, they were always like partnered with another ranger, normally a male ranger. And it's quite frustrating. Maddie, who is played by Melanie, and I'm gonna butcher her last name because my tongue don't roll that way, Vala Alajoy or something like that. This is her focus episode, and she has two, but she has to share them with like a male ranger. Oh, by the way, for Hispanic Month, she is Filipino and Ukrainian. And I'm hoping to God she's more of the Latino Filipino than she is the Asian and stuff. But I'm pretty sure she's that of Latino. At least I hope so. Especially with that name, I think she might be. So anyways, this episode is a bit conflicting. I really didn't want to talk about this episode because it's hard to pinpoint which is a good Maddie episode. See, in this episode, we get some backstory on Maddie, why she is the way she is, and what kind of person she is. However, she gets turned into stone, and she doesn't even defeat the stone or the monster of the week. The Red Ranger defeats the monster of the week, and it frees her from her stone captive, and that's basically it. Like, she doesn't even have she don't use her weapon to defeat anything. She's not the one who gets the power up to defeat anything. So it's a weird solo episode. Like, the beginning part, is some nice, character development. After that, the Ranger stuff is just kind of blah. Then you have Ranger Down, which is actually a Genji solo episode, but she is featured in that. And she's the one who gets to fight the monster more and save the other Rangers. So I'm like, maybe I should talk about that. But she really don't do much character-wise other than be sympathetic, which is what she always is. But at least she gets to defeat the monster. So it was kind of a toss-up. Which do I do? Or do I do that episode where she's not even really the center focus, but she kisses that frog and it turns into Dakaron? So I picked the Solid Rock episode, or Rock Solid, whatever you want to call it. So here we are. And it's really sucks because, when it comes to Vita, I gotta pick that vampire episode. That's really the only focus episode of hers that I can think of. I really can't think of a solo Vita episode. It really sucks how they did that. And it was a short season as it was. But let's get into Maddie. Maddie is our second blue female Power Ranger. The first one was in Ninja Storm, and there hasn't been a third one yet. And, it's really interesting because, normally when you see a Ranger and they're colored, each season, they kind of have a similar personality. Sometimes blue will be a little bit more comedic. Sometimes green will be a little bit more comedic. When it comes to like the Yellow Rangers, back in the Fox Kids days, and even sometimes a little bit in the Disney, they had a feistiness to them, right? But since there are only two female Blue Rangers, it's like both their personalities are completely different. Tori had more of a tomboyish surfer girl type personality, whereas Maddie is like very sweet, very kind, very soft spoken, and she is very caring. She's also shy and loves to video her friends. She's a really cool ranger. Like she's the type of person like you kind of wish you just could be friends with. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody you can just get along with. However, here's the thing: because she's so soft and everything, she's a bit dainty, especially in the Sentai footage. And normally, dainty, soft characters revolve around the Pink Ranger. However, this Pink Ranger is a little feisty and everything, which we've seen before in the past, with Jen and Cassie and stuff. But other Pink Rangers are more like the dainty, girly kind of stuff, and the soft-spoken kind. And, so it's weird because you would think that the Pink Ranger would act all like, the way Maddie does and stuff, but she doesn't. But in this episode, is I do love how they like went into her character. They ain't go much into it. But when I say there's some cool character development in this thing, it's so realistic. We've all been there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's so great about this episode and one of the reasons why I picked it. And so like in this episode, basically what happens is we see her with a very old school video camera. You gotta remember, this was about 20 something years ago and stuff. This is what, it's almost 20 years. It's about 15 or so. This came out about like what? Oh, 05, oh, 04, 06, something like that. And so like it's a very old school video camera. And so she's just recording everybody, and we don't know exactly why. And when she gets to Nick is being his typical butthead self. And, he's all like, you're just hiding behind the camera and stuff. You need to get out and be like adventurous, do something daring. And I remember my uncle had that discussion with me a long time ago when I was always on the computer and stuff. When I was in college, he's all like, get outside, go do something, blah, 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 stuff like that. And I didn't want to go outside. Like, I was home for the summer, after like dealing with college. I just wanted to like stay in my room, watch TV, and be on the computer. Sorry about that. And also like talk to where people like, I knew in college, like on like MySpace and Facebook and stuff like that. Wow, MySpace, remember that? And so like, plus, there were bugs outside, man. I used to get bit by bugs every time I go outside. I did not want to go outside. And it was hot in the summer, because it's hot over here and crap. But anyways, and that I can relate to that, like her being behind like an electronic device. And also I was big into taking pictures of like my friends and stuff. And she's kind of a little bit of a dork. She's all like, I'm adventurous and everything. Like, I normally get like, mint toothpaste, but this time I went for like something green or something like that, minty green or something like that. I was just kind of like, oh, she's so adorable, man. She's almost kind of like nerdy, geeky a little bit. But that really affects her and everything. Like, 'cause he doesn't know the reason why she likes to record folks. We don't either. I remember there was a guy in college. He dated my friend. And he used to just randomly take folks' pictures who he didn't even know. And that was creepy. But anyway. So she's headed out. And when she's walking in the park. If you see a picture of her, like in the background, it's like a giant tree. That is a gorgeous treat. Man, I am gonna miss when Power Rangers leaves New Zealand because there's some nice locations over there. But anyway, so she sees these guys playing around in the park and she does the unthinkable, something we haven't seen in Power Rangers probably since the Ninja Storm or like Lightspeed Rescue Day. She decides to go up and ask him out, or at least flirt with him a little bit. But she's so nervous and shy every time she tries to walk up to him. She turns around and cringes. Who hasn't been there before? Like, I know I have, like in the mall, I saw somebody, like I want to talk to them, but then it's like, no, maybe I shouldn't. And stuff. And then it's almost like stalkery, kind of, because like you're kind of like being near that person and you want to talk to them, but then you turn around and don't, and then you keep following, like, okay, I'm going to talk to him, I'm going to talk to him. And then you spend like several minutes. It feels stalkery and everything. And it's like, it's interesting to see that with the girl this time instead of like normally a guy. But the dude is pretty cool and he talks to her and stuff. But in come the monsters. We got the henchwoman who's like a bat. I forgot her name. And then we have like the monster of the week. And the monster of the week, it turns people into stone. Why exactly? I don't even know if they really explain why, but he's turning people into stone. And he turns her into stone. And she's pretty much out for the rest of the episode, which is a straight bummer. So the Rangers, they get a call and everything, and they morph and they try to fight the monster, but that bat lady is just too tough. And so Vita, seeing her sister turn to stone, is devastated because she loves her sister. Speaking of loving her sister, it is weird how we never got a sister type episode in this show. They are the only siblings who never teamed up in an episode. Yeah, they talk and everything, they interact, but they never had an episode where it's just them paired together. And normally in Power Rangers, the two female Rangers normally have like, a solo episode together, and we didn't get that for here. Now maybe, just maybe, it's in the Sentai, but I have no idea. And actually, this is the first season I actually attempted to watch the Sentai back in the day. I was curious to see what the Sentai version of this was like, so I looked on it on YouTube, and luckily I was able to find it. But I don't think I watched the entire episode because something came up, and then when I went back to watch it, YouTube had took it down and everything. So, like, they go back to, like, their special ops, which, man, what happened to these days of Power Rangers? Their, like, command center type place is amazing. The outside, well, the CGI tree looks a little too CGI, but then there's like that little dragon stone thing that opens their mouth. That is awesome. And then the interior looks pretty cool. The computer monitors are a little weird, but everything else is like cool. Man, what happened to these days? Now it's just a redressing of that same room, which we'll never see again. But none of that magic can like reverse the spell. They have to destroy the monster. And so Nick gets like, power up and everything, a spell code. Why? Because Vita shows like, the Rangers why she's always recording. Because, she was upset because when they was flying around on their bikes on everything, they didn't know where she was, and they knew Nick had said something, but he won't say what he said. And now we just see what it's about. Like, she just loves videotaping her friends in their hobby, what they do best and everything. It's kind of like a video photo album for her and everything. This causes him to see the error of his ways, and he gets a spell code. And so when they go to like fight the foot soldiers and everything, the rest of the Rangers are trying their best to fight the Bat Lady, and Nick is fighting Korak. Boy, I love myself some Korak. Korak was cool, way better than Void Knight. I assumed Void Knight would be as cool as him, but sadly he wasn't. And so Nick uses his special like code. So his little hover bike thing turns into a dirt bike. And here we get one of the coolest like motorcycle type fight scenes ever that lasts a total of about 4 stinking minutes. It took up a lot of space. But I loved every minute of it. I love the choreography. I love the explosions. I love how he literally flew up in the air, spun around, and like fought with his motorcycle. And yet fans complain about this crap. Ew, why does the Disney season always have them fighting on their motorcycles? Because it's cool. And because you complain so much, now they don't do it no more. Ugh. I think they only did it like twice, maybe 3 times in like the Neo Saban, like Nickelodeon era, and that was about it. Boy, I missed this stuff. And I missed those like sky high explosions. Man, that was some power right there. And so after defeating them, he goes on over to where the Rangers are. He helps stop that. And so he uses his wand to create a mirror out of stone. And I love how they do random stuff like that, you know. It really sets the tone. You know, one of the things I remember before Dino Fury came out, there's this one YouTuber, and he said he really hopes they utilize the night like motif for the season because that was a big part of the Sentai. And I don't know if he's satisfied with that or not. I know I'm not because there's not much night type stuff going on. And you gotta give it up to the Disney era. Whatever the theme was in the Sentai, they utilized it in the American version and stuff. You don't really see that no more. When they was wizards in the Sentai, oh, they're wizards here and stuff. And so like the reflection, so when the power hits off the glass and everything, the mirror, it reflects him. He turns to stone, and then he busts them up. So of course, Maddie is free, and we get to see a solo morph by Maddie, which is always awesome. And so she gets the new spell code. Why? Because what's his name apologized to her. And so she gets the power up. And that power up is to form the Megazords. I guess she did help in that regard. Because before they were just in their individual Zords. And this is a really cool season where the Rangers turn into Zords themselves. And they go all giant and they form the Megazord. And we get a really cool cockpit. Something beyond different than what we normally get. It's a chess piece and everything. And they kind of just like roll around in their little chess piece things and, you know, snap their fingers for always for some bizarre reason. And it's really cool. And the Megazord looks amazing. One of the best Megazords ever. And it has really long wings. And yes, when the wings come out, they're CGI. But when they're actually extended on the body, it's practical and everything. And that's amazing. And you just don't see that no more. And so there's not really a Zord fight. They just like slash it and it's done, you know what I'm saying? And so after that, she talks to that dude again and all this other stuff. But her and that guy aren't gonna last because her love interest for the season is Nick. And so I wish this could have been more of a solo focused episode of Maddie where she got to defeat the monster and everything, but sadly it just wasn't meant to be. But at least we got some really good character development with her. And we got to see her hobbies. We got to see her like try to talk to a dude. It's like, you know, those are the things I really enjoy about Power Rangers. It's not talking like this is like in the Disney era and stuff, like in this episode. Unlike the Neo Saban era, they're not talking down to you. And that was a major problem with the Neo Saban and Hasbro era. They're always talking down to you and stuff. I get it. If there's little kids, it's a teaching lesson for them. But for adults, we don't need that teaching lesson. Well, except for the toxic fandom people. They need that teaching lesson and stuff. Cause it's been getting kind of toxic lately. Like, it's been getting bad, man. Like I was in like watching some dude's video and he was talking about like, you know, should Power Rangers ditch like the Toku influence and stuff, and he was giving reasons why it's okay to get away from it, and somebody in the comment section just went bonkers and everything. I mean, they went medieval, and they addressed it to who else? Like Simon Bennett. But I mean, they literally addressed it to him. They tagged him in that comment section, and it was a vile comment section. The dude was just homophobic. He was using slurs. He was just talking disgusting to Simon, all because he doesn't like Simon Bennett. And Simon does what he does best. He sees his name pop up and he addressed that dude. And he did it in a very professional manner and stuff. But he did in a professional manner. The people commenting, oh, they let that dude have it. Because they told him basically he was beyond out of line and stuff. And it's just like I don't understand this fandom. Like, what has happened to it? And this is a prime example of what's been going on lately in other fandoms. They're too toxic, and they're always toxic, mainly about the same crap. Like, I saw some dude on Twitter, and he was complaining about, oh, why did like Izzy have to rip off her skirt for? Is that supposed to be lesbian woman empowerment? And I'm just like, dude, what are you on? It was like she was making a statement, like she don't wear dresses and skirts. That's not who she is. And it's just like this dude went ape all over that, like just that one moment and stuff. And it's just, I don't understand what happened to this fandom. Like, I really just don't.